Hello Darts Nutz, welcome to Darts Review channel. I bought myself a new shirt, rather nice actually. The only problem was they didn't have any green ones, which was a bit annoying, but I got my second favourite colour, pink. I mean blue. I'm colourblind, you know. Anyway, in this video I'm reviewing the Gary Anderson Phase 6 Noir darts. Quite a few people have asked me to review these, even though I've already reviewed the natural version, and they're basically the same dart but with a different colour. So let's check them out. So I'm reviewing the 24g version, the 90% tungsten. They're also in 21, 22, 23 and 25g steel tip, 18 and 20g soft tip, and the retail for £99.95. So as you can see, the darts come in this substantial cardboard packaging. That's an outer sleeve, so you just take that off, and it's a magnetic closure flap there, so quite thick cardboard. On the left you've got a little sleeve with the Gary Anderson Noir card, and then a dense foam inlay on the right. And what's that? That's just the Raspberry app. You got your weight guarantee certificate, and again the darts are in a dense foam inlay. There's nothing underneath there in case you're wondering, and they come fitted with the gripper stems and the Ultrafly Noir flights. So the darts fit with the black coated volute points, and it's a kind of a spring onion style, kind of a bulbous tapered front, and obviously as you can see you've got a smooth section on the nose, but you've got a black tie coating, but these two are left with the natural tungsten, and that's to denote Gary Anderson's World Championship wins. And it's mostly like a thin ring grip, but as you can see the rear section's slightly different, and that is mostly kind of like a, I would say almost like a very flat shallow shark style grip. It's a little bit hard to see, you might see it better in the close-up, but it's a front weighted style, so it will depend if you like a front weighted dart. Now even though I'm a front gripper, I've mentioned before that sometimes I don't get on with these kind of like bulbous shaped darts. I don't know what it is, but sometimes it just depends on how the bulbous section sits in my fingers. If it's very pronounced, sometimes I feel like it's rocking, whereas this one's not too bad because it kind of like slopes a little bit there, so you get a little bit of more comfortable placement of the fingers there. But I would say for most people the grippy section's going to be there, so maybe front grippers might get the best from it, but there's a little bit of something there for mid and rear grippers too. And the fit with the gripper four stems and the Ultrafly Noir flights. So there's a smooth tapered nose there, and as mentioned it's got the two natural grooves of tungsten showing the two championship wins, and the rest of the barrel's got the black tie coating on. I think them first two double rings are slightly wider than the others, and yeah, is it one, two, yeah, I think it's them two that are a little bit wider, but I think they actually may be getting slightly closer together as it moves along. It's a little bit hard to be sure, but it's kind of like a double thin ring and groove, and obviously it starts tapering thinner towards the midsection, and then you've got this kind of like, it's not quite a shark grip, it's kind of like flat sections with little raised angular nubs, I would say, but it's got almost like a feel of a kind of a shark grip, but quite widely spaced, and that's almost right to the end except for the smooth part, the DSS on the end with the signature and logo. So that's the super close look at the Gary Anderson Phase 6 Noir darts. That's fit with the black coated volute points, 30mm. You've got a tapered nose that's smooth, 7mm, and then you've got a thin double ring grip, which looks like it kind of gets smaller rings as it goes along, 18mm. And then on the rear part, you've got this kind of like flat, almost like a shark style grip, very flat against the barrel, 18mm, and then a smooth section on the end, 7.7mm. Length 50.7mm, wide is 7.3mm. $24.08 grams. Bit wobbly. 24.11 grams. And 24.09 grams. Full setup. 25.68 grams. Here's the balance with nothing attached and with the supplied setup, and this is the balance with medium in between short nylon stems and standard flights. Rings are probably a little bit more grippy than you might think, so maybe 7 at most. Right, just have a few throws. Oh, I thought that was going in the treble 20. It almost looked like it fishtailed just as it got to the board. Hit the treble 5. Treble 5 champion. Fingers. Doing that a lot now. I don't know if it's my fingers or my elbow that's causing it. I don't know if you can see the lump on my hand there. It has got bigger. And it does hurt. And sometimes I'm finding when I'm drawing the dart back, I'm losing that finger off the dart, so not a lot I can do about it. But I think I remember saying before when I reviewed these were a little bit easier to throw than some of the bulbous darts that I've tried before, like the spring onion darts, simply because that bulbous section, it's not as severe as on some. On some it feels like it rocks in my fingers, and it's also nice that it's got the little bit of grip there. But I'll try it just behind that where it's kind of sloping and it's slightly different width in the groove on the rings, so just a slight subtle change to the grip. Oh, finger came off again. Bit too high. I have one more try from there because I didn't quite get me grip right there. It was all over. Yeah, it's quite a nice spot that to throw from. It was alright from the very front, but from there it just feels like you got a little bit of something to push against. But I think it's one of them darts that if you're a front gripper you're going to appreciate the front balance, but I think maybe mid and rear grippers are going to be happy with it as well. But slightly different change again on the rear grip, probably a little bit less grippy, but it's still got a decent feel to it. Hit my chin, that. I think that's in the treble, that. Oh, that was a bit stiff. Yeah, it was in the treble. But like I say, if you're a rear gripper and you like a front weighted style, it's still worth considering. But it's nicely balanced for front grippers and a nice comfortable spot just probably slightly in front of center. So again, could work for front, middle and rear grippers. Oh, it's a kind of a shape of a barrel that not everyone gets on with, so if you've not tried it before, then you may be best off trying to find a cheaper dart in a similar style before you like jump into something a little bit more expensive. But I think the particular shape of these is a little bit more subtle than on some, so it just feels a little bit easier to throw, I think. And like I said before, I think I mentioned that they were a nice dart and one that I would probably play with for longer, and probably one of the first ones of this style that I seem to get on with okay. So there you go. So I'll leave you with the gallery so you can have a close look at them, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy darting.